Okay, good afternoon guys and girls. Today I'm going to show you the OFRF Nexmesh Sub Ohm tank sent to me by OFRF. This is a nice mesh sub ohm tank. Now anybody who knows mesh knows that these guys make some of the best mesh on the market at the moment, and they actually brought out some stainless steel mesh as well, which I will be showing and testing you guys next week. For now we're going to look at the Nexmesh Sub Ohm tank. As you can see on the back of the box, it shows you your what's included into the box, a little bit of warnings, information about the manufacturer. On the side shows you, okay, it's a black tank, it's got your scratch label over there, and around the sides just some normal branding, and on the front as well. Now, I was actually really impressed by this packaging. As you can see, I'm going to show you now. The packaging is actually like really thick cardboard, which is actually really nice. What you get inside your box is you get a sticker pack, which is nice and cool, and some information about the two different coils that you get in the kit, or in the packet, which is Canthal, A1 Canthal Nexmesh at about 0.2 ohms, best between, they say it's between 75 and 85 watts. Then you have the stainless steel, which is actually nice, so then you can actually do, I don't know who still does temperature control, but you can actually do temperature control with this sub ohm tank. Best, they say the best range is 55 to 75 watts, and the resistance on this is 0.15 ohms. Okay, you get your nice full on instruction manual, shows you how to refill the tank and everything. Let's put that one side. Okay, what you get in here is you get a spare coil, which is the stainless steel one, this one, and they actually use a type of mesh which is called conical mesh. It's supposed to enhance the flavor and actually cut back on spit back, but they've got different things incorporated into these sub ohm coils, which is actually quite nice, because I'm going to show you now what they did in regards with that. You get a spare bubble glass, which is going to make the tank take 5 milliliters of juice. Sorry, 5.5 milliliters of juice. And the tank, the straight tank that's on here is a polycarbonate tank. It's gonna edge it up to 4 milliliters of juice. And like I said, it's polycarbonate, so this one is a little bit tougher. It won't crack, won't break, unless you actually really put pressure on it. Okay, let's check at the bottom of the box. You get a bunch of extra O-rings, colors and stuff, so you can actually do your own little customizations on there. Okay, so let me show you about the tank. First off, let's have a look see at the bottom here. As you can see, Nexmesh, some branding on there, and shows you what the tank is all about. The 510 pin on this one is protruding nicely, but still I would not recommend using this on a hybrid mech mod, just for safety's sake. I mean, above all else, we need to be safe. Then let's check what the diameter is of this tank. You're looking at 25 millimeters is the diameter, and the total height from the bottom of the tank, including the drip tip, is going to be, let's have a look, looks like 49 millimeters. So it's tall, but not that tall. The drip tip that comes with it is a 510 or 810 drip tip. It is tapered down on the inside. I'll show you now the whole what they did here with the the whole chimney section. It's actually to make the flavor pop a little bit more, and you actually get a little bit more vapor production on that. It's a nice clicky cap to open. It's a push to full. So you're going to push that, and then you're going to see on there they have this membrane on there. That's actually very nice. I've noticed that a lot of companies are doing this, and it's actually quite nice because you don't have any seepage or anything out of the tank once you filled it. And another thing that I like what they did here is I don't know if you can see this. It's difficult for me to focus the camera. It's got like a little breathing hole in there. So when you open it up and you fill it up, the excess air that's inside is going to escape through there. So you're not going to have that air locking problem that you have on a lot of the sub ohm tanks on the market at the moment these days, which is very nice. I have to commend them on that. Okay, let's check the bottom. Let's check the airflow first. Airflow is a triple airflow, as you can see, Cyclops style. If you open on the one side, it opens the others. You've got 1, 2, 3 on this, and then what you have is you unscrew this at the bottom. That's your base for it, and here is your coil. The coil that comes pre-installed with this one is the Canthal, which is a 2 ohm, 0.2 ohm resistance coil. Let me pull that out. You can see it's just a pull and pop system, which is actually so nice because you can actually change coils so easily. You don't have to struggle with the ones that you actually have to screw in. Sometimes they get a little bit too tight, and you end up damaging either the tank or parts of the tank trying to get that coil out. What they did with this is it's got a dual layer of cotton, which helps for absorption of the e-liquid as well. And another thing what it does is it prevents spit back. On the coil that I tested on this one, I was actually quite impressed. I actually had no spit back at all, and the flavor and the vapor production was out of this world. I mean, it's something really different. I see a lot of companies are moving over and they're doing a lot of sub ohm tanks, which is good. It's nice. I just wish, this would have been such a nice device if it was an RTA. I would have loved it. I'm an RTA person myself, so I don't know whether you can see inside there is your mesh that they've got inside there. It's a conical mesh. And the conical mesh, let me explain it to you. I don't know whether they have it on here, but I can show you an illustration of what the mesh does. But what the mesh does is it's actually like in a conical shape. So you've got a wider bottom and you've got a more narrower top, and that funnels the airflow quite nicely into that chimney. And like I said, I'm going to unscrew here and show you what they did with the chimney. The chimney is quite narrow. You can see it tapers off there. There's your juice ports on there. It tapers quite off to your chimney side. So if I take out this 18 drip tip, the drip tip is actually got an O-ring inside here. So your other drip tips, if it doesn't have an O-ring on it, it won't work on here, unfortunately. Let's check. They don't have an O-ring on the inside, so unfortunately you're going to have a little bit of a problem if you want to use your own drip tip. Now I'm going to show you what, as you can see, the opening is quite narrow. It's almost like a 510 opening that it's got on there. Now what that does is it actually funnels in the airflow, and it makes the flavor pop a little bit more. Also helps in stopping with spit back. And I mean, a lot of the new sub ohm tanks that come out have a lot of problems when it comes to spit back, and the last thing you want is a mouthful of e-liquid when you're not feeling up to it. Okay, so that is what the tank looks like, and today I'm going to juice it up with some Pink Panther on Ice by Dr. Vapes, one of my favorite juices. Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to prime the coil. What you need to do is you need to place drops on the inside here on that cotton over there. You'll see it start soaking it up immediately. It's just to help it a little bit more. with the absorption of the e-liquid, and to take your priming time a little bit off. Okay, sorry, the video cut out there. What I'm showing you is this is where you're going to place the e-liquid. Just a couple of drops in those juice holes over there, and that'll take the time down for priming a lot. Because when you do not prime these coils, you're going to get a dry burn of your first drag, and you don't want that. That is something that you absolutely do not want. Okay, as you can see, I primed it a little bit over there. What I tend to do is, and a lot of people don't do that, but what I do is I just place a little bit of juice on the top here, and it just helps a little bit more with the saturation as well, to get that cotton nice and saturated. So like I said, this is to take down a lot of the time of your priming stand. Okay, now you pop the coil back in. This just hooks in there, and you screw it down. There you go. Now to refill it, you'll see on the top here it's got a little bit of an arrow, so you push that part to the front. What you need to do then is just insert the bottle into the nozzle into that hole, and you can just squeeze and fill it up. I'll show it from the side here. Also, a reason why I like using this juice in my reviews is because it's got a nice color to it. You can actually see what it does with the juice. Now, as you can see over there, the membrane actually stops any juice from coming out. No juice coming out, and there was no airlock due to that little hole that they've got on there. Close that up, and let's just have that sit for a minute or two. Now today, like I said, they sent me this for review. I'm not a big fan of Sub Ohm tanks. I was actually quite impressed with this one. A lot of the companies are coming out with very, very, very good products these days, and like I said, it just when it comes to Sub Ohm tanks, it helps a lot with the beginners. A lot of people don't want to get into the whole building your own coils thing. It's a very intimidating. I mean, I can remember when I started vaping, it was a big intimidation factor for me. And Sub Ohm coils was always the proper option to go. These days, a lot of people tend to start off with building their own coils, and kudos to them if they can pull it off. Awesome. Okay, now when you feel that cotton has been soaked quite properly, I will normally leave it for about 5 minutes or so. You'll see that, okay, you put it on, and okay, let's see what's happening over here. Okay, it seems to be giving me a little bit of problems with the reading on my DNA. Just unscrew that on there. Okay, let's just accept that. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I'm actually making the coil settle in a little bit, so I'm burning it in now. So as I'm burning it in, I'm starting a little bit lower. What I tend to do is especially on Sub Ohm coils, just to make the coil settle a little bit, especially when it comes to mesh, because you have a larger surface area that heats up quite fast. You tend to get a lot of dry hits and uneven hits if you do not let the coil settle in properly. So what I tend to do is I start off at say 65 watts. I'm going to do this now in increments of 5 watts. So I start off at 65 watts, do a couple of vapes on there, then go on to 70 watts. and you can actually feel and taste the flavor progressing as you start vaping on it. It just starts tasting better and better. Let's do a couple more. Nice. Okay, now as you can see, is nice. The vapor production is quite a lot, especially for a sub ohm tank. These days, these guys with the sub ohm, the companies that are creating sub ohm tanks are really outdoing themselves. Okay, let's pop this one on to 85. And it can actually take that chain vape on 85 watts, which is the maximum recommended wattage for this specific coil, which is actually very impressive. What I can do is, let's push up the wattage to, pop it up to 95. Let's see what it does. I'm actually quite impressed. This is actually taking the 95 watts. Wow. Seriously. Such awesome flavor and vapor production. As you can see, it works quite well. It gives you that bubbling effect like you normally get on your RTAs and RDTAs. It's just absolutely awesome. I love this tank. This is absolutely awesome. I just wish it was an RTA. Either which ways, that's the Nexmesh Sub Ohm tank by OFRF. If you have any questions, any thoughts, any close-ups that you guys would like to see, don't hesitate to pop me a question. You can either reach me on Instagram at Henny Pret Vapor. I'm going to spell it for you. It's at HENYPRETVAPER, Henny Pret Vapor. On the YouTube channel is HPVR, and on my Facebook page is Henny Pretorius. Go and pop it a like, give it a share, tell me what you thought about the review, and if you have any questions, please do feel free to make contact. I'll get back to you with answers to your questions and insights as soon as possible. And thank you for watching my review. And as always, thank you to OFRF for sending me the product for review. Guys, it was a good product. Keep up the great work. As you know, I'm a big fan of the gear RTA that you guys have done. This one is one for the books as well. Also, a big thank you and shout out to Dr. Vapes, the Pink Panther goodness. And guys, make sure to make a turn at the Dr. Vape stand at VapeCon at the end of August, beginning of September. I'm going to be at the stand as well, so come through, come and pop by and say hi. Come, let's meet. Let's put a face to the name and the person that we're always talking with on social media. But above all, guys, keep it cloudy, and thank you for tuning in.